Aloha kako, and welcome to the challenge at Ho'omalahia Botanical Garden 2025, presented by Discraft and Honolulu Disc Golf Association. I'd like to say a big mahalo to our sponsors, Discraft, Max and Lucy's, Full Bid Disc Golf, and Gadget Disc Golf. Also, a big mahalo to all the members of the HDGA, whether you just signed up recently, you've been a member for quite some time. Without all of you, we would not be able to hold events like this, or the Flying Hawaiian Open, or putting courses up at Gila or at Kupuohi. So thank you for all of you contributing your time, your money, and your passion for disc golf here on Oahu. This is the first time that we've ever run a members-only event. This was kind of meant to be a way to allow our members and those who wish to support the club a chance to get to play Ho'omalahia, maybe with less traffic. As you can see, the registration's not full. So this will be kind of a throwback to how we used to do FHO and the Shave Ice Bowl. So that said, it's also a test bed this year for the new FHO layout that I've been putting together for this year. So it's a great way to get a leg up on the competition in September as well. So I'm sure you guys are probably pretty eager to get playing. Your first chance will be to play this Friday at 9 a.m. Make sure you're at the gate at 9 a.m. You can come on in, get your parking pass at the main office, and head back to help set up. As soon as the course is done being set up, basically you have free roam on the course. Feel free to play, do a doubles round, have fun, get your practice in, and check out some of the holes. Just remember, please check your emails for info regarding parking and for camping. The gate basically has certain closing times and opening times. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. is the standard times. If you have that pass that I mentioned, you'll be able to stay in later. The gates do open again. One, it opens for exit and entry. The other one's an exit only. You will need that pass no matter what this weekend. Most likely you will be here past that 4 p.m. gate on Saturday. Maybe on Sunday as well, but most likely not. So that said, make sure to review the rules. Respect the park. Mahalo to Ho'omalahia Botanical Garden for hosting us. Just remember that we need to respect their rules. The PDGA rules, review that. And then also, if you are going to be camping, make sure you review the camping rules, anything specific to camping. So we've got some basics going on regarding the course. In the background here, you can see I basically took a stroll through the whole course. I started on hole 1 and made my way all the way to hole 18. Hopefully we can use maybe a still or a quick capture to kind of highlight some rules perhaps regarding some things. But basically one of the biggest things is we're in a botanical garden, so a 3-meter rule is going to be in effect. Basically, do not try to get any discs down from the trees. Don't be trying to go over the trees, really. I know that there's definitely some trees where you can, and it's great, but some of these larger ones, just be careful. If your disc does get stuck, it's fine. Just let us know. It's not like it's going to be bad or anything. We can let the park staff know, and they can get it down for us at another time. But that will be a stroke penalty, and you will throw from underneath where your disc is. Another one to take into account is that all roads will be a hazard, except for the parking lot. The parking lot is going to be OB. So hazard meaning that you play from where you lie and you take a 1-stroke penalty. On the course, you'll notice that the course has a road running through it, basically, on all of the holes, except for 2 of them. Holes 2 and 11, those are the exception holes to this rule. Coming up is that you must land on the same side as the basket from wherever you're teeing or throwing from. That said, so if you're throwing from a tee box and you don't land on that side of the basket or in the road, it means you're OB. So you're gonna go back to where you're last in bounds, which would technically be over the road, and play from that edge of the road. So also you'll see in this video that there's some pretty thick brush and trees on the sides of some of these holes. If you do end up throwing a disc into that area, don't worry, just throw a provisional. Make sure that your card mates know, so declare that you're throwing a provisional, throw your provisional, and then go ahead and look for your first throw. If you can't find your first throw, you take the stroke penalty and throw from your provisional. It kind of makes it so that you don't have to run back and throw from your previous lie that way. It's just kind of preemptive. But if you do find your first throw, great. You pick up your provisional and you play on, and congrats. Great, awesome. That's kind of like some of the major rules, I would say, regarding the course. There is a stream as well in the back section. That kind of comes into play along in hole 12, hole 16, and hole 17. Those are going to be brought up in the more course or hole specific notes here that I'm about to start. So starting off, we've got hole 2. Either side of that one, the road's going to be safe. So that's not that biggie. Hole 4 is going to be an island hole this year. If you haven't noticed, the course has kind of been reversed. But hole 4 is a short island hole. You must land in the island from your first throw. If you don't, we have a drop zone. You'll move to that drop zone and throw again with a stroke penalty. If you don't land in the island again on that throw, then you're going to rethrow from that drop zone until you land with a stroke penalty every time that you miss, still continuing. This could really add up pretty quickly, but hopefully, you get right on that island. This will also be our amateur CTP for Saturday. So if any of you are playing in any of the amateur divisions, whether it's age or gender protected division, that is your CTP. So all the females will get one CTP and all the males will get one CTP. Moving on to hole 5, it's going to be a double mando. It's very similar to one of the holes that we used to play previous times. It's got a double mando. That's just going to be for safety of not hitting anybody on holes 4's tee pad or hole 6, hopefully. Hole 6 has a single mando. You'll be teeing off and be going to the left of that tree that's going to be marked. Also, right after that, you've got an OB line behind the big tree, guarding kind of the new pavilion area. That's going to come into play on hole 7 after that as well. But also you have the parking lot behind also there. So that's also going to be an OB area. The first hole really where the road and left side of or opposite side of basket road, OB and hazard rule comes into play is going to be on hole 9. You're shooting out over the road there, and you're basically going to want to land on the left hand side of the road because that's where the basket is. I mean on the right hand side, not the left. If you land in the road though, it's all G. If you land on the right hand side, awesome, great. You're safe. The left hand side of the road though, no go. That's an OB. Go back to where you're last inbounds, which is going to be the road, and you'll play from there. If you do land in the road, it's still a hazard, so you will be playing from where you lie, but you still have to take that stroke penalty. Moving on to hole 11, both sides of the road is going to be safe on hole 11. Just be careful. It is a steep little turner there. And so I want you all to be careful and watch out. We do have basically some issues sometimes with people walking around because they'll be walking from 18, but we should hopefully have a spotter there. Like I said, on hole 12, there is water on it. It's long on the back side of the green there. So like I said, if your disc is completely surrounded by water, you are going to be OB. Play from where your disc was last inbound. So this is also going to apply to 16 and 17. The water's in play there as well. So that could come into play. On hole 13, just be careful going up the embankment if you choose to. Watch out there. It can get pretty steep and slippery. It might be just safer for you to walk back towards the road itself, down the hill again, and then back up on the road. 14 is a big area where we got to be careful. Just please do not throw into the power station. It will be an OB area. You'll throw from where you're last in bounds and take the stroke penalty. That said, I don't think it should become too much of an issue. Hopefully, the tree should block for the most part for us. After hole 14, we got the par 4 15. It does have a single mando on it, so do watch out for that. You're going to be moving to the left of that tree there. On hole 16, my ace hole, this one of the signature holes out here, we have a drop zone. If you do not land on the road or on the grass that the basket is on, you will be moving to the drop zone immediately. Doesn't matter if you're in the water or if you're on the fairway for 13. Basically, you will be moving to the drop zone and you take a stroke and you putt from there or play from there. On hole 17, like I said, the water's still in play. That stream wraps around the right-hand side of that fairway there. So keep an eye out. Hopefully you don't end up in that water. But if you are completely surrounded, remember you are OB and you will remove your disc and go back to where you were last in bounds and play from there. Just remember that would basically be the stream's edge if you're in the water. After you finish that hole, please be careful walking up to hole 18, as that is 11's corner. On hole 18, just be careful playing from that ditch on the left-hand side of the road there. It can get pretty steep now that they've cut it out and kind of cleared it out some. There's been some water running through there, I noticed, so just be careful, please. Also be careful walking up from 18 to hole 1, as you'll basically be walking through the fairway of hole 10. So a little bit about how the tournament's going to be run. We'll basically be doing a check-in on Saturday morning. That will be held over in the campsites at both mine and Alan Borski's tents. We'll both be camping out there. Beyond that, we will do player pack pickups post round Saturday, and then as well as Friday evening for campers. And so the whole idea is, I know people in the past have complained that they had to carry around their player pack for the whole round then because they didn't want to go back to the parking. We're not showing the parking situation, like I said, so just make sure you check your emails to see what we have at the last minute and be able to let you know where to park. So we'll be handing those out after the round on Saturday, as well as at the award ceremony and party deal at the new side on Sunday. Your whole assignments and cards will be posted online to PDGA Friday night. We will be using PDGA Live, so please make sure that you've got that downloaded or bookmarked, however you would like to do it, but you will need to use PDGA Live. I will have paper cards as needed, but just make sure that you do remember to check in on Saturday morning, because we might have to make changes if people don't show up, or if they let us know last minute they're not going to make it. Now if you do want to make it and be able to have a little bit of practice on Saturday morning, definitely come as early as you can. The earliest that the gate opens is 9 a.m. In the past, sometimes they've opened it a little smidge earlier, but typically not. Also at check-in in the tournament central at the campgrounds will be the code to access the PDGA live scoring. So that said, it is key. If you noticed at the beginning of the video, that was a time lapse of me getting in from the front gate all the way to the back of the new pavilion. That's with no stop to get my parking pass. It takes 10 minutes. So if you're there at 9 a.m., that means hopefully you get to the very, very back by 9:30 and checked in by 10 a.m. And that means that you can get to your 10:15 tee time at whatever hole you're supposed to be at. If you have friends or family that's coming out that would like to volunteer, we would love for them to. We have some spotter spots available. Basically just talk to people, let them know maybe to watch out potentially in some spots, as well as potentially helping people fill and run waters down to the lower section of the course. I'm really excited and can't wait to see you all out in the garden. And aloha, be safe until then, and I'll catch you guys at Ho'omalahia.